Yo, what's going on everybody? I'm your boy Numbskull and welcome back to yet another Erowid expedition. I want to keep today's upload short, sweet, and simple as I've got some stuff I have to do today and I want to do some ambient in a bit as well. So today I'm bringing you all an experience on your basic Δ⁹-THC edibles, or an 11-hydroxy-THC report if you prefer. It's going to be a good one, at least I think it will, so let's get into it. Drugs taken. Repeated doses of cannabis edible/food, orally, and 50 milliliters alcohol via beer/wine, orally. Gender, male. Body weight, 68 kilograms or roughly 150 pounds. Time of experience, 2023. Age at time of experience, 22. Unexpected 2-month-long edible by Necro. Hello. I would like to share the experience I had last year at a festival in France. I will refer to hash when talking about the substance, but here in France, hash is essentially weed resin mixed with substances that make it less concentrated. I have used a substantial amount of drugs in my life, including psychedelics, stimulants, and depressants. I've also consumed a lot of edibles and have always prepared them myself. I discovered that you could decarboxylate pretty much anything that contained THC, and I started making my edibles from hash, which felt much stronger than those made with weed. The first time I tried this, I added around 2.5 grams of it to a recipe that made around 500 grams of cookies. These were incredibly strong, and I struggled to find a dose that wasn't incapacitating. I was very often falling asleep mid-experience, despite always decreasing the amount of cookies consumed. This was about 2 years ago. So these years of dosage, experimentation, and whatnot led to the day before this festival. I made around 1 kilogram of cookies infused with about 1.5 grams of hash, which was very pleasant to smoke, and took them with me to the camping site. Note that I have always been very receptive to THC on top of not being a regular user. I ate one cookie at around 1 p.m. when we arrived at the site, as well as a can of 50 milliliter strong beer. I started setting up the camp and about 2 hours later, began to feel it kicking in very lightly and slowly. Yay, I've nailed the dosage, I told myself, and then proceeded to take another bite since I wasn't satisfied with the high, which seemed to have plateaued already. It was now time to head to the festival's main site. I went there with one of my friends who had only smoked a few joints and consumed alcohol. I arrived in front of the stage and the music was really cool. Only when we got to the front of the stage did I start to feel it really kick in. The effects were very strong, but I was in a very good mood and literally nothing could happen to me, so I just let it go higher and higher until I reached the point of small visual hallucinations. Everything was so bright and the colors were so vivid. I experienced a literal brain lag, making my vision delayed, and when I would look at something else, the scene I was previously watching was morphing with the new one in a weird way, like those AIs that can mix two pictures into one. The music was magnificent, and I had a really good time. This basically went on for the 3 days of the festival. I do not think I was sober the entire time, probably consuming about 100 grams of cookies in total. However, this trip report is not about the festival, which was very enjoyable, but rather the aftermath. I stopped consuming these cookies on the last day of the festival. My last bite was at 9 a.m. and I only drank alcohol following this. The festival ended and we all went to sleep very tired. I woke up the next morning feeling a little weird, but I packed my stuff up in my car and got ready to drive home. It was only 30 minutes before driving that I felt something was a little off about me. I felt high, but not in a pleasant way, more like a messed up kind of high, and I felt overwhelmed by the light and sounds. However, I felt largely capable of driving, but I was not entirely reassured. After about 10 minutes, I encountered some police cars that stopped the drivers to conduct alcohol tests. I kind of freaked out since I felt somewhat high, but tried to act as normal as possible. They just let me pass through, telling me to have a good day. Thank God or whoever gave me the face of an innocent baby. Then I arrived home without any incidents and did not realize yet that this awful high would not let me go for the next few months. I don't know how this is possible, but for the entire time I would feel kind of high like I described the first day after stopping the edibles, but then when I would eat or drink anything, even water, the high would intensify and last for several hours. I'm glad I was unemployed at the time. I was waking up every day feeling absolutely unrested, would starve till about 2 or 3 p.m., dreading the time I would eat, and become unable to do anything. Too messed up to think, do sports, or anything productive. Even gaming was hard to enjoy. I tried fasting for 2 days straight to purify my body, but when I ate again, the high would come back again and again. I tried everything I could, but the only thing that helped me in the end was time. I was really losing my mind, having panic attacks every now and then, thinking I had permanently damaged my brain and body. Eventually, after about a month and a half, the effects started to wear off, painfully slowly, but at least I felt like I was getting there. 2 months after all of this, I felt normal again. The effects would come back from time to time, but nothing too impairing. I am not sure what happened. I ended up consuming every cookie I made that day, but in much smaller amounts and not several days in a row. I had a good high and felt fine afterward. Be careful with your dosage, and it's better to stay humble with any substance, no matter how chill you think it's going to be. And that's going to be it. I really hope you all enjoyed, and I'll say I did enjoy that one a lot myself. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing and or following, and turn on those post notifications if possible so you don't miss anything new I put out. Stay frosty, stay curious, and most importantly, stay safe out there. And with that, I will of course see all of you in the next one. Peace!